Wouldn't you love to have supper with Lazarus that night?
Here's the other Johnny. Thank you, Ed. Or the other Ed. Well, hello. Hey, hi there, social media family. Being of any subscribers as well as any visitors to that being on my own YouTube social media channel. Sorry about the torn. Did I say toward my English American dialect? Wow, I really do butcher it quite a lot. I'm going to have to work on that too. Make it more proper, standard, or whatever I said. But anyway, I was saying, sorry about the torn clothing is what I meant to say. I may have to get another wardrobe. I'm due for one. I'm pretty much so wearing either. But then, how are you all doing? Thank you for that user with the username of Otara for greeting me. Glad to see you have paid me a visit. Hopefully many more would think to do so, and hopefully I finally get my 4,000 subscribers so that I can finally get paid to do these podcasts. Get paid with the ching. Well, hopefully more of the paper money than, the coins. Unless the coins are gold and silver, stuff like that can compare onto or be compatible to stocks and bonds. But then I will always do a religious or spiritual broadcast for free, social media. Since I'm a believer in God, believe it or not. Though at times I can play the part of the devil's advocate. And as the lesser two evils been a prodigal son, whereas the worst two evils is any of the likes of those closet devil worshippers, and of the worstest of some sorts of types who makes up the majority or most churchgoers or whatever or whatsoever religious denominations, including the prosperity preacher, televangelists among them. But then that's not what I want to talk about, But then how are you all doing? Hopefully everyone is doing at least okay, if not better yet to be said, to be feeling all right. If not best of all, to be said to be feeling blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, or too blessed to possibly become or be stressed. You and yours, your family, friends, hopefully me and mine likewise as well, all the same. But then you all are probably wondering, not just could possibly, but probably wondering why I haven't been on here for quite a while. So let me explain that away before I get into the original topic of discussion, being in which I am hoping to debate. Hold that thought. Please, user with the username. Here we go again. Some more of these here. Not that I'm saying the first visitor to my social media channel, regardless of whether or not one is a subscriber, had been or is being is that, sorry about that correction, is being respectful is what I mean to say. No offense meant to the other, user, but rather the one that come in after the first one is being rather disrespectful. And now I'm going to have to put this one in a time out, Okay. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying. But then feel free, I'm using with the username of Altaro to speak against the other user that come in shortly after you that had been disrespectful on my social media channel. As I will not tolerate, well, I'll try to be lenient for a while, but after a time frame period of an internet troll persisting to become or be annoying, I will take action to silence one's chat as I had just done. And then if one persists to continue to be annoying, then I will have to seriously consider blocking a character as that being. Anyway, though, And moving right along, getting back to what I was about to say or do so now. And I'm kind of pressing for time. I had meant to, no, I'm going to have to skip this one free eating spot after all, being because, okay, 'cause I lost the, I'm going to get back to what I was about to say, explaining the way my absence from being online. You know, what was I about to say for the last mention? Something about, well, oh yes, I would have more time to broadcast if I were not pressing the time to try to make it to one of these free eating spots, then because I frequent some of such on quite a regular basis, that much more since, public aid had cut my food stamps. Not that that was what I had meant to discuss the matters either. But anyway, though, I may have to postpone doing that after all, because with the time that I had left now, after having lost previously composed draft before I were to go online, for some reason or another, like a computer hacker had got me, or maybe YouTube administrators themselves could have done a number on me in a secretive, obnoxious kind of way, or maybe it was one of these present neighbors from damn hell where I'm at presently at. As I lost now the other, that is, viewer or user has decided to, vacate my social media channel. It's all good, though. Keep coming back. I'm glad you stopped in. But anyway, though, I was saying for the last whereas what was that? Something about a neighbor from damn hell could have possibly sabotaged it. Yeah. But anyway, getting back to what I was about to say now, before I lose my train of thought, so to speak, etc. Oh, excuse me. But you all are probably wondering why I haven't been on here for quite a while. Well, at one time or another, the YouTube administrators, they had assumed that I was being disruptive or interruptive or non-compliant for its guidelines that governs the YouTube community. And so therefore they had given me their own time out. As in, restricted, not suspended, certain features of my own YouTube social media channel altogether. And therefore, I was down for the count. A whole month, give or take some weeks, days or nights. So sorry about that. So now I'm going to have to be that much more careful for how I express myself, unless the YouTube administrative representatives were to possibly take what I have said out of context. God forbid, And I pray tell that they never confuse me with being anti-Semitic. How can anyone who is of the original Jews who are black Hebrew Israelites be that way? Though I consider the white Jewish as our fellow brethren, and so much for that conversation. Here we have another one. I'm going to have to put you in timeout now. One of these internet shows can on of another one for like some of this kind. But anyway, though, and moving right along. So, getting back to what I was saying and nip that in the bud to conclude some of this matter before I go on with the original topic of discussion. Anyway, YouTube had subjected me to a mandatory hiatus as the likes of the same race. And for whatever reason why they had done that, I have little or no idea. Some say they had engaged in unlawful activity, or that being which would be considered as oh, excuse me, as civil and human rights violation offenses to attempt to impress their white superiors. But then some say that it was for some such other reason or purpose. Well, whatever the case, regardless. Another black male has had his life taken from him at the hands of dirty cops. That much I do know, or anybody else for that matter, who still possess half their marbles, and that is tragic. And whereas their counterparts are white police officers or cops, you know, were not about to stick their heads out there to be served on a chopping block to have their jobs become kaput. They weren't about to put their heads on the chopping block and have to be served on a silver platter to their superiors. They were like nothing doing. And so those the black male police officers and cops had got what they deserved. They were supposed to be arrested and charged with a hate crime. And they have yet to be, well, they were literally actually finally charged with, I think it's, what is it? No, it could be one of them, either manslaughter or first degree murder. You know, Either way, they've been charged, and now there's a possibility that they can do some time in the can. As in be convicted, that all depends. More than likely, more often than not, they will. If you look at it from one point of view, if not another, more than their white counterparts, if they were subjected to experiencing that being the same, predicament. And it's not like they could possibly get probation themselves. You never know, as well as they could. Well, their white counterparts would more have a chance to get probation and being exonerated or acquitted compared to how they themselves would stand a much greater risk of being convicted. But it could possibly be less likely, even so, for them as black police officer cops to, like, say, or how you say, be thrown into general population. General population, the regular jail for all jailbirds. Then because police officer cops have their own special jail that they be sent to, mandated by a judge and or other representative personnel of our own judicial system. I mean, very few police officers or cops see the inside of general population where the average jailbird go to. Though some do end up in general population, and let me tell you something. If any police officer cop end up there, their life is going to be a living damn hell. Because the other jailbirds be like saying, hey, they look like, what's his name? Yeah, he arrested me sometime back. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just telling like it is, And at the same time, I got to remember to speak in hieroglyphics because I don't want to get too graphic and express myself unless I want to risk another strike. Coming from the YouTube administrators, God forbid. And as YouTube is not necessarily that of a democratic platform or social media that seriously respect, you know, democratic expressions. As you all know, that our beloved former ex-president of the USA had, at one given time or another, had been momentarily banned from Twitter up under the old social media administrators management, up until the time Twitter was bought out by one Mr. Elon Musk, who had reinstated his rights and privileges, so that he himself could once again express his views and or opinions upon many different social issues of our day. I'm sorry, I have quite a bit of a cough, cold. Hopefully, none of any doctors or nurses at a couple few different hospitals or medical facilities, regardless of whether they were to be public or private, had given me some such, medicines otherwise without my knowledge, as well as without my permission, without my consent. Read between the lines, fill in the blanks. But then I have to continue to speak in hieroglyphics, for this global pandemic, in order not to, be silenced once again anytime too soon, especially to prevent my person from getting one of those Donald Trump numbers of being banned permanently, you know. Okay. Then I have to start from square one, from there to get back up and running. God forbid. And, let me just leave it alone. Okay. I think you all know what I'm talking about. So far as concerning the jab, or these times that we're living in, I'm not saying that I am against it, either for it. I'm just unsure about it, until I get further information. I'm in the neutral zone, and hopefully, nothing has happened to me in seeking, you know, some such service coming from the medical community, you know. And so much for that conversation. Then how you all feel? I guess I feel pretty good since last I was on here. Yeah, I guess I feel pretty good. I can't complain. I feel a little bit better than what I felt like before, though. I'm still feeling kind of like up under the weather. My health is not what it used to be. Is that what I'm saying? No, I have felt better then, so I'm feeling better than what I felt last. And hopefully I was start to feel even better than what I'm feeling like at the moment, Yeah. And regardless of how now I am a tenant in one of the less preferred vicinity area neighborhood communities, you know. And I have yet to get the hookup so far as my combo package once again, you know. Whereas at my old place of residence, I had, like, and speaking upon some such other matters before I were to get back to the original topic of discussion. Yeah, in a more preferred neighborhood for a better one, being a multiracial and less poverty stricken, less crime ridden one, compared to where I'm at now for the likes of its own kind, being the present one for a predominantly ethnic minority and more poverty stricken, more crime ridden one. Whereas before, at my last place of residence, for one of the better neighborhoods, I had the combo package of, that being a home phone, internet, in television. Okay. And now, as it was up under the same phone company at that, home phone, internet, and telephones, home phone, internet, and television service is what I mean to say. And now I just have now I just have that being you know cell phone service. Yeah, because I had the combo, and in addition to cell phone service, now I just have cell phone service. And whereas I have the hookup on my cell phone hooked up with my laptop computer, and I could watch free TV on my cell phone, Now, in one sense, if you look at it from one point of view to another, it would be considered as a good thing, but or like to my advantage, but still, I think we look at it from another or some such other point of view, it would be considered as pretty bad to my disadvantage, Okay. So now I'm having to make sure that I have my cell phone intact, that I don't get clipped up if whenever I venture upon the premises or properties of a mass transit of a public transportation system, or for the atmosphere of a place of business, be it public or private. Well, I literally actually do have a second cell phone as backup, but I usually take both with me. I'm gonna have to start leaving the second cell phone in my place of residence just in case somebody clipped me out there, pickpocketed, so I can at least have one cell phone, and especially for emergency regional purposes, especially where I'm at now, for one of the less preferred or one of the worst vicinity area neighborhood communities, and whereas the neighbors from down hell I have now, they are more creepy or creepier than the last neighbors from down hell for this neighborhood where I'm at now, for one of the worst ones for the vicinity area. Community or whatever I said. And so much for that conversation. But then getting back to the original topic of discussion. So these black police officers, was something like practically, if not possibly, a half a dozen of them, or close to a half a dozen. And these black police male officers, black male police officers, and black male cops had beat the crap out of this young black male of the same race. I mean, they beat him into a coma and beat him to death. He died in a local vicinity area neighborhood community hospital like days later as a result of developments of the beating. They beat him black and blue, and he was being cooperative. They just still, they vamped upon him. And I get to thinking to myself in my head, what would possess, what I'm saying? What would possess certain police officers or cops to do something like that? I mean, here it is. You go to the police academy, you train, and you take the oath to serve and protect, and then you do the total opposite. You may as well have not joined a police force or police department from the get-go to begin with. If you're gonna just come off like one of the very criminal suspects that you're supposed to apprehend, taking into custody or arrest, I was like, wow, all that training gone to waste, and now it's like out of the frying pan into the fire. You have to go before a judge, jury, and prosecutor with your own defense counsel of an attorney, lawyer, otherwise, to litigate your legal case, to try to figure out whether you are to be exonerated as an acquitted or convicted, and if you are, to see whether or not you know one could litigate your legal case to you know to have it be, what's the legal word for that? Something about, I don't know, I can't remember that. To see if you could get it reduced. Let me just put it like that, reduced to a lesser charge. Whereas you get less time in the can. As in jail, so you be less likely to do the jailhouse rock. And so you be less likely to risk being thrown in the general population. Whereas like rapists and pedophiles, police officers, cops, they get little or no mercy. None at all when they're thrown in general population with the average jailbird, unless you really like a good fighter like Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson. You may get off quite a few punches and so forth if you at least did try to defend yourself, but eventually when the numbers of the odds are against you, you know, and certain ones of them jailbirds be wanting to get that peanut butter box, they be wanting to hit it and quit it, because that stuff happens in there with little no doubt, like going for the juggy action after them and then grab, yeah, yeah, we got you now. You're gonna come RB. Give it up, baby. We can do this the easy way, we can do this the hard way. Now either lay down or get knocked down. Because Seymour hungry. Seymour wants some peanut butter. I'm talking about, man, this ain't your turf, fool. Where you think you at? You ain't at BK Burger King. You can't have it your way. I said, you can't have it your way. We run this here. This is our camp, man. We the here, man. Do they pay off the turnkey to look the other way or not? They still be attempting to get it, and more than likely they will, unless you prove yourself to be a neutral. But then, like I said, but on the other hand, when it comes to dirty cops, they ain't gonna respect them, because they just like fellow riffraff. They like a rival, wind up in the very jail that you're supposed to be sending criminals to. Man, you get just as much respect as a rapist or pedophile, being of which is little or none. So anyway, though, I just had to speak my piece, my mind on those matters, and I'm about to close shop because I'm about to get out of here. Get me a little bite to eat because I don't feel like cooking. A little oven, I have my kitchen cabinet, and I've been kind of like a hermit for a day, but laid up in bed with this really bad, kind of cold. Well, hoping not bad before. A bad cough, hoping not bad before either. And now I'm gonna pull it up, and spoke my mind on these matters. I hope you all have gotten something out of it, I hope it at least entertains some, if not all of you. If not better yet, educate and enlighten anybody and everybody. And on the last note of interest, I say, if you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I hope that you think to do so now, while the blood is still running warm in your veins, by recognizing and realizing what he himself had done or did upon the cross of Calvary on the hill of Golgotha, suffering at the hands of Roman soldiers upon the orders of his superiors, religious, political, militaristic, otherwise, etc. But then there are less ways. He went to that cross of Calvary to become a perfect sacrifice, the only sacrifice for you as well as for me. Don't steal my trademark, just like to copyright sometimes. So if any of us profess faith in him, from there we don't have to worry about going to the lake of fire, damn hell, but we will be permitted to become citizens of the kingdom of heaven in due time. You all take care and be blessed. We out. Peace.